Alright, what's up everyone? Happy Monday. Happy 13th of March 2023. Today we're going to be continuing some more Great Ace Attorney Chronicles, which we're playing specifically the Great Ace Attorney Adventures, the first game. I'm still on the first trial. As I stated before when I was streaming this on, what was it, Friday? I was like, or was it Saturday? I forgot what day. But no, it was Friday. I was like, this game, the beginning is quite long, but it didn't overwhelm me, but it just, as much as I wanted to continue, I was like, this beginning part is pretty long. Anyways, let's continue where we last left off. The Adventures of the Great Departure Trial Part 3. Let's continue where we left off. But yeah, I hope everyone's having a great Monday. I hope everyone had a great weekend. I know daylight savings caught everyone off guard. It is what it is. Alright. Yeah, and this is where we left off. Well, I understand you are the judicial assistants to the defense, but why this sudden ingress into my courtroom? The judge says. Arachi says a judicial assistant? And a woman no less. The rules state that females are not permitted into the court of law other than to testify. Yes, I fully understand. I asked for only 5 minutes of time. I have some vital evidence that I must hand over to the defense. Huh. You're too late, little girl. This trial has already been concluded. 5 minutes. I will not allow a moment more. But, Your Excellency, I am most grateful. Who exactly are you? I'm sorry, there's no time. Please, simply accept this for now. What is it? A report about something. Written in English. Is Giselle Brett's research. The Englishwoman's? After the trial resumed earlier, I hurried back to the university. I went to Dr. Wilson's laboratory into the medical faculty and borrowed this paper. Oh yes, that's right. Miss Brett was studying under the professor, wasn't she? So, does this research, whatever it is, have something to do with the case? I'm afraid I don't know. I haven't been able to listen to the proceeding of the trials myself. Oh no, of course not. Special characteristics of career and effects on human subjects. Interesting. Career, what's that? I never heard of that word before. Time's up. The prosecution demands the immediate removal of this female trespasser from the courtroom. There was too little time for me to read it in detail, but I summarized what I could on a note just inside the cover. If you think it would be valuable, please cast your eyes over it. This is a wonderful. Thank you. Okay, so we got the report from her. Goodbye then, and good luck. You have had long enough, counsel. We cannot detain our English guests any longer. I ask the prosecution and the defense now for one last time. Does either side have any further evidence to present to the court? I presume not. But, sorry about that, I was moving my mic. The prosecution has made its case convincingly enough already. Nothing more to add, Your Excellency. Ryunosuke, we're out of options here. This really is our last chance. Yes, I know. Your Excellency, the defense does have new evidence. Look. The unyielding stare of a true Japanese warrior. Well, Miss Brett. Yes, Your Excellency? If you wouldn't mind, perhaps you could grace us with your presence a little longer. It's a delightful invitation, but I'm afraid it's not so very long until tea time. I have to politely decline. Forgive me, Miss Brett. It seems I wasn't clear. I realize it was phrased as a question, however. I must ask you to treat it as an order. I've said it many times before, but the Japanese language makes no sense. My apologies, dear lady. So, counsel, what is this new evidence that demands the court's attention?
Yes!
Miss Giselle Brett, we understand you were studying under Dr. Wilson at Yumei University doing research. Research by sheer coincidence, perhaps, into a deadly poison. What? Poison? Where are you going with this, counsel? A toxin called curare, Your Excellency. Even the slightest amount of the deadly poison can enter the body leads to an instant death.
Objection!
What complete and utter nonsense. Curare? Curare, you said? I never heard of it. You wouldn't have done. What do you mean? I mean that you wouldn't have heard of curare before for one very simple reason. It doesn't exist in our country. It doesn't exist? Correct. Which means, no matter what test the police could do for toxins, they never could identify curare. Why? Because there is no test available here that could identify the presence of the highly deadly poison. What? Counsel, does this deadly poison truly exist? According to this report authored by the visiting research student from England, curare has been long used by the tribespeople of South America as a poison to lace their arrows. It seems that it's reasonably well known among European doctors and scientists. To lace their arrows? The report states that it is produced from the extracts of a tree that grows deep into the Amazonian jungle, and it was first brought to Europe at the turn of the century by explorers. It claims that animals shot by arrows laced with curare suffer instant death. Doesn't that about sum it up, Miss Brett?
Objection!
Trumpery. These aspersions are utter trumpery. To start with, if the victim has been administered some of this so-called deadly poison, he would have been squirming and writhing with pain, and the other diners would have surely noticed. That's true. What do you say to that, Inspector? Obviously, I would have noticed a disturbance like that. I don't remember anything like that either. I didn't notice the professor being in any kind of pain. According to this, however, it's the other way around. What do you mean, the other way around? The very fact that the victim didn't show any visible signs of distress is evidence that curare was used. Explain yourself, counsel. The moment this toxin enters a person's system, it causes instant paralysis. In other words, afflicted victims' loss of all strengths are completely unable to move. Even if they were in total agony, there will be no visible signs of pain at all. How terrible! Obviously, if a man lost all strength in his muscles, he'll collapse on the floor. But with a chair under him for support, as Dr. Wilson did, the effects will go largely unnoticed. But I don't follow, Kazuma. That's just paralysis. I thought the poison caused instant death. The full explanation is extremely unpleasant. The poison causes immediate paralysis, as I said, leaving the victim unable to move. But after a short time, the paralysis is so severe, it causes the muscles to control respirations to fail. Respirations? In other words, the actual cause of death is suffocation. And all the while, the victim is conscious and aware, just unable to move. That's hideous. To the observer, it would look almost like the victim was slipping peacefully into an endless sleep. But for the victim himself, his final moments would be a living hell. That is the true nature of this deadly career poison. Sounds horrible. And you're suggesting that this bottle council actually contains the terrifying poison?
Objection!
This is all convenient, isn't it? A hetero unknown poison for which there is no means of testing. What a happy tale for the defense. If I may. All of these facts. You think you're so clever. It is you who must be taught. Of course. Dear lady. So, this is how your Japanese behave, is it? What? You steal another honest hard work and then announce the results as if you discover them. I'm appalled. What a loathsome act. Well, Miss Brett, the feeling is mutual. Whatever do you mean? Capitalizing on the unfortunate circumstances of an innocent man to frame him in a heinous crime. That really is loathsome act. Wouldn't you agree?
Objection!
Enough of this. I, for one, refuse to accept it. The idea of some poison that doesn't even exist in the Empire of Japan is the breaking the rules. What's so funny? Oh, excuse me. Your Excellency. Yes, Miss Brett? May I borrow the bottle for a moment, please? Well, yes, I don't see, why not? Don't get too big for your boots, you insignificant little island boys. Sorry? To an Englishwoman such as myself, this whole affair is a farcical comedy. Your little police games and these foolish courtrooms antics, it's laughable, really. But I'm getting bored of it all. It's time for the games to end. Cheers! Wait, what are you doing? Hold on, I'm just checking on my battery. Okay, it's full. Okay. No sparkle left at all. How appropriate for this shabby affair. He has nothing to say. Yeah, no one has nothing to say. Goodness! Whatever is the matter? You all look quite stunned. So, no Carrere. The bottle was clean. Is that what you're saying? You look quite incredulous, little boy. But of course, that's the simple truth. Thank you for presenting the findings of my research so consciously here in the grand venue. Most kind. Thank you, waiter. Now then, Your Excellency. Yes, Miss Brett. I should like to be excused now, please. I think I've given more than enough of my time for the furtherance of friendship between our countries. Ah, yes, dear lady. We are most gratified with all the assistance you have given. This doesn't make sense. There had been poison in that bottle. So how did she swallow a whole glass and live to tell the tale? I don't understand it. Well, I suppose if nothing else, this little Far Eastern charade will make for an interesting conversation for the next party I attend in London. There has to have been poison in that bottle, doesn't there? There has to have been poison in that bottle, but there can't have been, because otherwise she would have keeled over dead. Come on, Ryunosuke. We have all the clues now. The bottle of water. Hello, Emily. Hope all is well. Happy Monday. I hope you're doing well. It must contain poison, right? It must contain poison. The culprit did put Corrare poison into Dr. Wilson's carbonated water. The defense refuses to change its position. You're serious? Well, he has no choice, really. Fool! Are you blind? There is no possible way that bottle would contain poison. I mean, we just saw Miss Brett drinking the water from it. No problem. That's right, which rather complicates your argument, I think. And I believe that the complication can be explained. How, exactly? I need to think through all the things that don't quite add up here, one by one. I'm sure the answer is in the evidence we have in the court. Yeah, let's look at the court records. Very well. If the defense truly intends to assert this claim, then I must ask you to support that assertion with evidence. What explains how the witness was able to consume this supposedly poisoned water on Scaife? A poison made from the bark of certain trees in the jungle South America. The hunter of regions has used it since ancient times to incapacitate the prey. Instant paralysis and subsequent death. The above-mentioned effects occur when the poison enters the body through a wound, such as infected as a blow dart. Okay. Due to its ability to render the human body paralytic, it's believed that the toxins have applications as an anesthetic. Ah, going well. And he had anesthesia because of his tooth removal. Solution for the respiratory arrest caused as a result for the full body paralysis must be found first, or patients will die of suffocation.
Yes.
The answer to this riddle is right here in Miss Brett's own research report. Of course, there's an objection. That's not a valid explanation. No? After all, did I mess up? I don't think I messed up. We don't speak English. That report is utter gibberish. I stream usually in the afternoons. This impudent young scoundrel is trying to ridicule the court, Your Excellency. I'm not trying to ridicule anyone on this. I'm just reading Susato-san's notes. I concur. This report is too extensive to be considered into its entirety by the court. You will direct us to the pertinent sections, counsel. What section of the reports reveal the alleged answer to this riddle? They're all riddles. We'll go with special characteristics. We've been hearing a lot about this Corrare poison, and it's left me curious about something. Oh, counsel? Well, it sounds as though indigenous hunters have been using this poison for years and years to lace the heads of their arrows that they shoot at whatever prey they're hunting. So we've been led to believe, yes. And the point of hunting is to catch prey to eat. Get to the point, please. But if they were to use these lace arrows, doesn't that mean they will be traces of poison left in the prey the hunters were going to eat? Yes, good point. So surely the hunters wouldn't want to eat their prey, would they? Because they've been eating the poison. Good gracious, Council! No, that would be madness. But I actually found the answer to that conundrum in this research paper here. Under special characteristic, it says this. The poison starts to work after entering the body through a wound. Yeah, I read that part. Okay. Through a wound, you say. I see, that makes sense. Yes, the mention of that particular detail seems a little strange to me, though. But it all makes sense when you interpret it what was written here. Okay. When Carrere enters the body through an open wound, it has terrifying poisonous effects. However, when it enters the body via the mouth, it has no poisonous effects whatsoever. What? Miss Brett, you authored this research. You knew Carrere's special characteristics. And you knew that you could just make a spectacle of drinking that water without any dangers to yourself. You meddling little... Oh! Rascallion! Well, Ryunosuke, Ryunosuke, it turns out you're an even better lawyer than I thought you'd be. Really? Me? A lawyer? Oh, okay. We get an objection for that. All this poison talk is fascinating, I'm sure, but I fail to see how it's possible. Dang. So, the ill-bred little puppy has a new toy to play with. Some facts he read in the book. By the way, I love how her stance is now completely different. This is like her awakening mode. But I'm afraid knowledge doesn't suit you, little boy. It only makes you look silly. What are you trying to say? Your schoolboyish logic has fatal flaw. Schoolboyish? Flaw? As even your brain has managed to deduce, Carrere is safe to ingest. It seems likely that its effects are neutralized by the acidic natures of gastric succus. Oh yes, well, of course. Gastric suckers. What are they? So, if this lethal poison is completely harmless when drunk, the professor wouldn't have died when he swallowed it, would he? Ah, that's right. Good gracious. That's basic science. Science that even a schoolboy should be able to understand, no? The logic holds. If the lady and the professor drank the same poison, they will be affected in the same way. Are you trying to suggest? Yes, this Carrere poison is completely irrelevant to the case on trial. That's right. Surely even a little cockroach like you could understand something as simple as that. What is this welling up inside me? I never felt like this before. It's a sort of conviction to break down all the discrepancies. It's so intense, almost rage-like. And more than anything else, it's an animalistic desire to take down my prey. Objection! Oh! I don't think so, Miss Giselle Brett. How? How dare you use that tone with me? You know very well that there is no fatal flaw here. You know exactly why, even though both you and the victim swallowed the same poison. You are alive, but Dr. Wilson is dead. counsel, I'm sure I don't need to remind you. You must provide compelling evidence, as we know that this poison is completely harmless when ingested. Why would Dr. Wilson alone have been killed by his career? Does it have anything to do with the anesthesia?
Take that!
Take that! So, as Miss Brett so readily pointed out, she drank the same water as the professor. However, there was a fundamental and fatal difference between the two diners. A fatal difference? The toxic effects of Carrera only when felt when the poison enters the body through an open wound. So for a healthy person with no injuries, drinking it is completely harmless. But what if there was a wound inside the mouth of the person drinking that poisoned water? Inside, yes, like the wound you might have when you remove a tooth, if you've just been to the dentist and had a tooth extracted, for example. Miss Brett, you acknowledged many times in your testimony already that you were well aware of Dr. Wilson's dental appointment that day. So that's it. You used the knowledge to orchestrate this. Is she laughing? I don't like to repeat myself, but honestly, I can't resist. These childish courtroom games and your half-baked arguments are so puerile. What do you mean? Don't worry, little schoolboy. You'll find out soon enough. Oh, wait, what? What? You see, when you leave vital evidence lying around, you never know what might happen to it. No. I mean, it could just slip. Hey, zombie. Oh dear, how careless of me. I'm afraid some crucial evidence may have just been tragically destroyed. No! What a bitch! Wow! She just smashed the bottle! Officer, what are you waiting for? Collect as much of that water from that broken bottle as possible at once. You're wasting your time. This delightful carpet under my feet here was a gift from the British Empire. I assure you, it will soak up the water beautifully. You have neither the technology nor the presence of mind to recover it. Ryanuska says, how could you? Let me shut you out, zombie. I hope you've been doing well. How could you? You won't get away with this. You could thump the bench and shout as much as you like, little boy. But I'm afraid we'll never know now, will we? If there really was poison in the bottle or not. You bitch. Sorry. And let us not forget, we still have very compelling evidence left intact. Isn't that right, counsel for the prosecution? Ah, of course. You're referring to this prank, I presume, dear lady. That's right. And really, looking at this photograph, it's as clear as day, isn't it? The poor professor was sitting with his back to me. So of course the only person who could have shot him from the front is this little schoolboy.
Objection!
No, you killed the victim that day, using Carrera. And then, in order to frame Ryunosuke Naruhodo for the crime, you waited until he picked up the pistol and you arranged him to find on the floor. before you shot the professor dead in the chest with your own hidden gun. Then in the confusion that followed, all you had to do was turn the dead professor in his chair around. You see? You had every opportunity to commit that crime. What a wonderful imagination you have, young man. A hidden gun, you say, and I shot the professor's dead body, did I? Well, I'm terribly sorry, but you don't have a shred of evidence. Exactly. And as you have nothing to support your wild claims, the prosecution's stance remains unchanged. The victim, Dr. H. Wilson, was killed by a gunshot to the chest. Delivered in cold blood by the accused, Ryunosuke Naruhito. This is unbelievable. How can this be happening? We had her, but now? Is she just gonna go and get away with it? The way she just destroyed the evidence was obscene. Ryunosuke. Yes? We come this far, but now? Now you're the only one who can finish this. What? What do you mean? We lost a vital piece of evidence, it's true. So if there aren't any clues left for us to use now, they must be in your head. In my head? You told me before that your powers of observation were the ones that you could really depend upon. Well, yes, that's true, but I didn't manage to notice that this woman was a foreigner with a swan on her head. So think back again now. Try to remember every last detail about the scene that day. Everything you saw, everything you felt, every color, every smell. What I saw, what I felt. Every color. Oh! Is Kazuma right? Somewhere in the vibrant memory of this same scene in my head. Could there be another clue to expose the identity of Dr. Wilson's killer? There has to be, yeah. Actually, Kazuma, I think I might have already had something. Thinking back over everything I saw, I think I might have uncovered another clue. Ha! You always had something up your sleeve, don't you, Ryunosuke? Come on then, let's wipe the smug smile off that English woman's face with some evidence. Alright, I can't wait. It's been niggling me for a while that something feels amiss in my memories of that day. Whatever it is that could be in the key to arriving at the truth about all this. It's here somewhere, the clue that shows who Dr. Wilson's real killer must have been. It's this, obviously. Take that! Inspector Hosonoga, answer me this. Yes, what is it? He's still miles away. Probably thinking about the bottle being smashed. As you said a number of times, you strive for perfection in your investigations, don't you? Absolutely. I wonder, therefore, if perhaps you took anything else from the scene of the crime. Like, for instance, the plate of steak that you took to the victim's table that day.
Objection!
Where are you going with this, little boy? It's just a memory that's been troubling me. What memory? I saw the scene shown in this print with my own eyes that day. And I saw on that wooden base on the plate that the steak was served on was a spattering of blood. What? Oh, really? And what of it? Obviously, that must have happened when you shot the professor. No, that can't be the case. Take a good look at the photo and the relative position of everything there. The plate of steak is almost directly behind the victim. If I'm supposed to have shot Dr. Wilson in the chest from the front, there's no way the blood from the victim could have ended up directly behind him. Yes. For blood to have made to the plate, it implies that the plate was between the victim and the shooter. Which means the shooter must have been sitting opposite from the professor, as you were. Giselle Brett. I beg your pardon?
Objection!
This is beyond ridiculous. Fabricated nonsense. Is the court seriously expected to believe something from the accused has apparently just remembered seeing?
Hold it!
This could be the moment that my entire career in the police force has been leading up to. Inspector, you mean? Yes, I took the plate in the interest of preserving evidence from the scene of the crime. I took it, meat and all. And I don't care if they call me a crime scene thief because of it. You did what? I took the steak that you've been eating, Miss Brett. I took the steak that the sergeant has been eating. I did it all, in the name of justice. Then we could find out for sure whether or not there's a bloodstain on Miss Brett's plate. We must examine it now. Inspector, the court wishes to examine the plate from the victim's table immediately. Yes, sir. Sorry for the delay. Here's what you order. The steak. Well, what about the blood? Is there blood on it? Of course there isn't. The blood, man. Show the court. Of course, examine the plate as you leisure. It's not there. No blood. No blood anywhere. But no, that's impossible. I know I saw it. I'm sure of it. It was right there on the table behind the professor. There was blood on the side of the plate. What an unbecoming expression, little boy. You see? This is why I'll always say that you can't trust what the Japanese tell you. I couldn't agree more. In the case of this disgrace to the Empire, I believe we may finally have reached a conclusion in this trial. Let's hope so. This let's pretend attempt to the courtroom of proceedings painful to watch. But I do promise to do my best to forget all about it if it's over. This sorry looking steak reveals the facts all too clearly. If the sorry looking accused wishes to examine it again, be my guest. The plate... Okay, cool. Was the plate I saw, or thought I saw, just a figment of my imagination? This is it now. I lost. Ryunosuke. It's not over yet. Not until the final gavel. Never stop believing in yourself. Keep looking forward, no matter what. Believe in myself. Really? Maybe I should at least examine the evidence for myself. As the evidence requested by the defense has not been shown to be problematic in any way, I presume any further examinations of evidence in this trial will be unnecessary. Does the defense have any objection? That bloodstain was gonna clinch the trial for me. Can this plate of steak really reveal any clues at all? Oh, no, I didn't mean to, I didn't mean to press that. I didn't mean to press that. I'm really clutching at straws now. That will fly. I didn't mean to press that. You know, it flies in the face of common sense. That someone like you with no experience as a lawyer could last this long in a trial like this. How did you? Opportunities are always there for the taking, but only for those with the determinations to grab them. Let's have another good... Okay. We're good. Woo! If you want to give up, it had better wait until after that. Maybe I should examine the evidence. Yes, I was gonna do that! I just... Well, a definite silence from the defense. I will take that as your final answers. Nope. Okay, good. We have a chance. Your Excellency, please wait. The plate of beef is hiding another clue. Another clue that will reveal the shocking truth.
Objection!
The only thing that's shocking here is your unhealthy fascination with beefsteak. Your Excellency, I think I made myself clear, haven't I? I would not be able to turn a blind eye to any more unnecessary procrastination in this trial. I'm sorry, Miss Brett, but we must ensure a thorough examination of the evidence. I will not give a ruling until I'm completely satisfied that all reasonable doubt has been dispelled. I see. As a newly affirmed ally in my country, that's still your position, is it? Thank you, Your Excellency. Counsel for the defense, you will now clearly show the court to what you are alluding. Where precisely on this plate of beefsteak is the new clue to be found? Huh? What in the world is this? I think it's a coupon. Wait, what? I can't see shit. All the hallmark is from the Hoye era. I believe I was supposed to like turn it from a certain angle, but there's some. It's probably that coin that the old guy was looking for. No, I don't mean what is it? I mean, what's it doing there? Wait, did you say it was a Hoye Kaban? Yes, and apart from the meat juices, it looks like it's in good condition. I imagine it's very valuable. This isn't the first time today that there's been talk about the Kaban. I heard of pearls before swine, but I never heard of a bullion in a bullion. And I don't think you ever will again. This is extraordinary, though. This means... Okay, there it goes. I guess present this, right? Got it! Good gracious, that's... a Kaban. What on earth? A Hoya era one at that. Miss Brett. This is in fact the beefsteak that you order at the restaurant on the day in question, is it? Tell me, why is there an old coin seemingly hidden underneath the meat? Oh, she doesn't like that. What a ridiculous question. How should I know? I never seen that thing before in my life. I don't know what this is, but I want no part of it.
Objection!
I fail to see how this is relevant. A coin under the meat. That would simply have been careless mistake by the chef in moment of distraction.
Objection!
Don't be absurd. We're supposed to believe that this happened by accident in the kitchen. A rare Hoya Kaban just happens to be hidden underneath the piece of steak. If this turns out to be irrelevant to the case, I'll rip up my ticket to Great Britain right now. He's right. It can't be a coincidence. Your Excellency. Yes, Counsel. A rare Hoya Kaban just happens to be underneath the piece of steak. If this turns out to be irrelevant to the case, I'll give up my lawyer job right now. Well, to be fair, he never started as a lawyer. By all means, don't let us stop you. No one invited you anyways.
Shut up!
Perhaps, little boy, you should realize that it is you who is irrelevant. Even though I'm the one on trial here? The point is, the essential that we asked the owner of this coin if he could explain what's it doing under the stake. The owner? Yes, it's obvious. There's only one person it could belong to. Yeah, we know who it is. It's the old guy. The owner of the caban that was found underneath the beefsteak is this guy.
Take that!
Obviously, it only could be the antique dealer and the owner of Rasute, Kuryo Korikuda-san. Kuryo is Mr. Cucumber or something? Honestly, these ridiculous Japanese names are quite unfathomable. Ah, yes. The old man who testified earlier alongside the military sergeant, correct? Yes, Your Excellency. I remember him saying that he was up to something when his cabal coin when it happened. At exactly the moment the gun fired. The gunshot. Yeah, he was looking for his coin. I remember this. I'm just gonna skip the dialogue. Then this Hoya era Kaban, do you mean to tell me?
Objection!
No, please. Why would Kurakura-san's Kaban be sandwiched between the victim's beefsteak in his plate? It makes no sense.
Yes!
I think that was what they were trying to bring up. Which is why I'm asking to bring Kurakura-san back to the witness stand so we can ask him. Officer, bring both witnesses that testified earlier back in here. Without a moment's delay. I can't believe we come back around to that pair again. But I have a hunch, a strong hunch, that if we chase down the real significance of this Kaban, we'll find that it is a key element in this case. What's this all about? Why have I been called up again? Don't you realize that it's dinner time for little baby idol? When my son's belly is empty, he's fiercer than a pack of wolves. Exploited by the police, we were, like miserable dogs, forced to bear false witnesses. And when cast from this courtroom myself, I became a ruined man in a trice. A worthless, withered antique. Nothing more I can say. The sun has set on this Rasute shop owner's existence. Be that as it may, Kurakura-san, something has come to light that requires your clarifications. As far as your Rasute memory serves. Ah! That's it! The one! The very one! The very exact one that it is. The resplendent, splendiferous Hoy treasure that my rusty boy managed to misplace that fateful day. It can't be. As I thought. Young man, enlighten the discredited old fool. Put me out of my misery. Where was my treasure? Where was it dropped? Oh, I'm not sure if it was dropped anywhere. We found your coin sandwiched between a beefsteak in his plate, soaking in the seasoned meat's juice. Sandwiched? Soaking? Seriously? Clearly, it couldn't have fallen there by accident. Which means somebody must have hidden it on purpose. Somebody concealed my treasure between a slab of meat and a metal plate. Who would do such a thing? Huh. Excuse me. Could I say something? Yes, of course. Proceed, Inspector Hasanaga. I mentioned this earlier on the trial, but I was working undercover in the restaurant in order to investigate another case. Ah, yes, that's right. The secret undercover operation. Le Carnival is a high-class Western cuisine restaurant. It attracts wealthy diners, including many foreigners. Recently, there's been a run of similarly executed thefts targeting the restaurant's rich clientele. A number of such incidents have been reported to the police bureau. Wicked crimes indeed. We wanted to nip the case on the bud quickly, especially with so many foreigners against being affected. So that's why you were sent in undercover, is it? Yes, I took on the job of a waiter at the restaurant in order to flush out the criminal. It seems likely that this Kaban incident is the work of the same thief. So unbeknownst to us, there was a master thief at work at the restaurant on a regular basis. The place was already the scene of crimes, it seems. I don't know about the master thief part, but the identity of the person who stole and hid the Kaban is all too clear. What? What? I think the court would like to hear the defense view on this matter. Tell us, who is this despicable scoundrel that stole Karakura-san's Kaban and hid it under the steak? I think it's kind of obvious.
Take that!
Obviously, it can only be you. Sergeant Ayasa Nosa. What? How? How dare you? You monster! Monster? I stole that Kaban, did I? I'm the master thief of Le Carnival, am I? You're seriously accusing me of these crimes, Cadet. But it wasn't me. It was Idol! Idol is the mastermind behind all this. What the fuck? You will push the blame for your crimes into your own son, an innocent little baby. It's you who's the monster, Sergeant Nosa. Preparing to stand down in the Supreme Court, sir. Alrighty. Do any of you know of the extraordinary low wages in the Nippon Imperial Army pays those expect to keep our country safe? I understand that the temporary increases in taxation owing to the recently ended conflict remains in place. And I have heard it's hard for lower ranking soldiers to make a living, yes. All I want is to put a hot meal on the table for my son. That's why you were stealing things at the restaurant? The place is heaving with money. Every 3 days I go there and do reconnaissance for a target. And I enjoy chomping my way through a good steak at the same time. It sounds like he doesn't bother with a knife and fork even, which is worryingly believable. And your target that day was the old man in his Kaban. Yes, sir. He was an easy mark. I slipped the coin into my pocket without any trouble at all. A phantom thief you are. I was all set to leave the steak I was halfway through devouring when it happened. Yes, when the professor was shot. I knew that if the police conducted a search and found the coin in my pocket, I'll be finished. Idle too. So I hid the incriminating evidence as fast as I could on the double. I slipped it under the stake, hoping that I'd be able to rendezvous with it again on a later date. They have nothing to say, just a let's see. This is ridiculous. Perhaps you could carry on with this absurd prattling on your own time. Well, Miss Brett. Oh, of course, dear lady, of course. How rude of us. I'm quite sure there's no need to detain you any longer at all. May the esteemed gentlewoman please be excused, Your Excellency. Indeed. The death of the Cabal was clearly perpetrated by this baby saddle sergeant. It would certainly appear to be unrelated to Dr. Wilson's murder, though. Of course it is. Hiding the coin under a lump of meat. The sheer nonsense of such an idea astounds me. Nonsense? It is. Well, oof. As for picking up your steak and biting into it without using a knife and fork, it's beyond nonsense. It's pure madness. Very well. Now all the questions concerning this witness testimony has been answered. I see no further justification for detaining her. Miss Brett, you are free to leave. Thank you, Your Excellency. Good luck, everyone. And good day. What's the matter with you? There's no time for daydreaming. Oh no, it's just something about Miss Brett's parting words there got me thinking. I can't quite work out on what exactly, but something she said jarred with me. I feel like there was a contradiction in there somewhere. Something that didn't quite add up. If that's the case, don't just stand there thinking, make your voice heard. Sorry. You could think later, but if you don't call her out, it'll be too late. The trial will be over.
Hold it!
Wait, Miss Brett. What is it now? I'm afraid, just one last time, there's something I'd like to ask you. I would like to explain the contradiction in your parting words from a few moments ago. What are you talking about? What contradictions?
Attention!
What new student nonsense, sorry. I have to burp. What new student nonsense is this? Well, what parting words are you talking about, Reinosuke? Without a knife and fork. It's pure nonsense. It's pure madness. I'm right. What she said there exposed a undeniable contradiction. I'm gonna need to see some evidence, Counsel. If Miss Brett's words truly are contradictory, which is the evidence to prove it? Oh, right, I got it. The fork and, like she just said.
Take that!
The photo of the scene taken immediately after the incident occurred. What's interesting is this plate on steak that you can see on the victim's table. The steak that Miss Brett has been eating before the professor was killed. Yes, go on. More accurately, Your Excellency, the steak was on the victim's table just before the professor was killed. Now you're just splitting hairs. Not true. Doesn't something about this steak strike you as very unnatural? Unnatural? What on earth do you mean? It's extremely obvious. I'm talking about the shape of the edge where it's been eaten. I see you noticed it too, Miss Brett. Notice what exactly? Just a few moments ago, Miss Brett claimed no English no Englishman could even contemplate picking up a steak and biting into it without using a knife or fork. Of course she did. She's a refined English gentlewoman herself. Then take a good look at this steak, in particular, the edge where it's been eaten. As you can see, there are clearly defined barbaric teeth marks there. Ah! It looks like Miss Brett has realized it too. So, if the witness, as she claims, wouldn't contemplate eating without any knife or fork, there shouldn't be teeth marks in the steak at all.
Objection!
But what is your actual point? Perhaps the delightful Miss Brett was ravenously well, yeah, she didn't want to hear that. She does not want to hear that. Oh, whatever you say, dear lady. As I said, I really must be leaving now. Afternoon tea with the Minister of Justice cannot possibly wait any longer. Oh, she wants to change the topic. Of course. This will be all over in the blink of an eye. Rest assured, I'm about to put this rookie out of his place. Oh. I heard enough. You irritating little spectral samurai relic. Of course. Dear lady. What's the matter, Miss Brett? Have we ruffled your feathers? Clearly, the witness knows what this means. She realized the catastrophic implications these teeth marks in the steak have been. Ryunosuke, do you know where you're going with this? Yes, now at last, it all comes together. Does it? The mysterious teeth marks in a steak that has allegedly been eaten with cutlery. The reason why the bloodstain I saw somehow seems to have disappeared. And most importantly, the evidence that proves once and for all who shot Dr. Wilson that day. I accept that these teeth marks on the steak are a little unnatural, as you put it, Counsel. But what exactly are you suggesting that tells us? Everything, Your Excellency. Everything? Yes, I believe that these barbaric teeth marks in the steak here amount to conclusive evidence in this case. Evidence that will prove beyond any doubt who shot Dr. Wilson. She does not want to hear that. Conclusive evidence? How many times have I heard that today? You wouldn't know the meaning by the phrase. Typical Japanese empty threats. How can you be so sure? Oh, it's quite simple. If you really had some conclusive evidence, you would have presented it in court long ago. Actually, the evidence I'm talking about hasn't been brought before the court yet. Hasn't been? What? But just because it hasn't been shown yet, doesn't mean that the evidence doesn't exist.
Objection!
This is absurd. The trial has run several hours already. And you say there's evidence yet to be brought forward? This can't be. I don't believe you have it.
Objection!
I don't. But there is someone who does have it. Someone in this very courtroom. And if that person is willing to submit that piece of evidence I'm referring to, it will serve every remaining mystery about this case. Very well. I have a feeling this will be the last request of defense in this trial. Who possesses the conclusive evidence that will reveal the truth about this whole affair? It's this guy, definitely.
Take that!
The answer is obvious. It's Inspector Hasanaga. What? I have it. Yes. You think I've been withholding conclusive evidence? That's ridiculous. No, I'm not saying that. Everyone's attention has been focused on the stake with the teeth marks. Yes. Now, earlier this afternoon, Sergeant Nosa told the court the following. I enjoyed chomping my way through a good steak. And as well as admitting to stealing Karakura's coin, he told us that he slipped it under the steak. Yeah, you watch, Cadet. I'm a superior guard officer. Sergeant Nosa, could you please confirm something for me? Was the steak that you put the coin under, in fact, your own steak? Jeez, Sean. Affirmative, of course. I might be a soldier in the Imperial Army, but still. I'm not brave enough to ask a foreign gentle lady if she'd mind me manhandling her meal to hide something in it. In other words, the steak that the detective submitted as evidence earlier was in fact Sergeant Nosa's meal.
Objection!
But that makes no sense! That plate was taken from the victim's table.
Objection!
Yet, the gentlewoman doesn't take bites out of her steak, nor did she have any opportunity to steal a coin. Of course I didn't steal it. To even suggest such a thing, an affront to the entire British Empire. Well then, how do you explain the paradox? Exactly, surely you're gonna have to suggest, well, that they switched plates. Yeah, exactly. That the sergeant switched the two plates. I don't think it was the sergeant, though. I don't think it was the sergeant. You did switch the plates. Well, after it happened, when I saw the civilian has been murdered right in front of my eyes like that, I panicked. As I said, I immediately lifted my steak and hid the coin underneath it. But then, the waiter announced he was an undercover policeman, and I thought I had it. If he decided to investigate my slab of meat, that'll be it. I'll be getting my marching orders. So when the cadet here was arrested and taken off to the kitchen, I see... Okay. So it was him who switched it, not the... Okay. I thought it was the waiter. No. With military precisions and timing, I switched my steak with the one of the foreign lady's table. What? You can't have. I never saw you do such a thing. It was called Operation Lightning Bolt. There was no time for strategic planning. It was do or die, I tell you. So yes, I did what had to be done. Unbelievable. However, fear not, Prosecutor Son. What now? I swear on the brass buttons on my uniform. That is all I did, sir. All you did? That's plenty, Sergeant.
Yes!
So, if Sergeant Nosa switched the plates over, it means he took Miss Brett's steak, and the plate was on back of his own table. Yes, that follows. Inspector Hasanoga. Yes? Earlier in this trial, you told the court this. You said that you had not only taken Miss Brett's steak after the incident, but also the sergeant's. That to preserve evidence, he had to take both. She's biting her eye mask. Oh my gosh. That's correct. Then please present to the court now. The plate that was actually on the victim's table, the precise moment he was shot.
Shut up!
What could that possibly tell us now? I mean, a cold slab of tough meat It can't have the slightest bearing on the case.
Objection!
No, you're not wriggling your way out of this one, lady. I beg your pardon. Surely you're not that forgetful. Surely you remember the reason why his steak pan promises to prove such a problem for you, no? You're the ones who decided it was a problem, not me. The reason the defense asked to see the plate was to confirm something that the defendant remembers seeing. Thinks he remembers. I'm quite sure what I saw, Miss Brett. On the side of the plate was the table directly behind I keep saying Mr. Wilson. Dr. Wilson. There was a clear splattering of blood from the gunshot wound to the victim's chest. I believe the defendant's memory serves him well. And now we have the evidence to prove it. The plate you were eating from Miss Brett. Let us not prolong this any further, Inspector. You will show us the evidence. Present the beefsteak and plate that was originally on the victim's table at the time of the incident. Yes, sir. Sorry for keeping you. Here's the other steak in this plate. Oh, there's the blood. Please feel free to examine it. The blood. Yeah, I see it. It's visible. Look.
Yes.
Now this makes everything clear. The blood you can see on the side of the plate shows that the moment of the victim was shot, facing the table with his back to me. In other words, it's impossible for Naruhodo-san to have shot the victim. It can't be. In fact, there's only one person who could possibly have shot Dr. Wilson from the front. I'm sure everyone knows by now who that person is. That's right, Miss Giselle Brett. It's you. Outdone by a Japanese. Me. By a Japanese schoolboy. No. 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 Oh shit. Wait, she dropped the chicken. What? Oh my gosh. Well, that was weird. Please excuse my little outburst. I briefly lost my composure. Yeah, you don't say. One sec. That was actually kind of funny. Alright. Most unbecoming behavior for our English gentlewoman. Forgive me. Well, Miss Brett, I think it's time you told the court what actually happened that day. The truth this time. Gladly, Your Excellency. It was I who took the professor's life, using Carrere. As you surmise, I chose the particular day for every very important reason. The professor had a dental appointment for the extraction of one of his teeth in the morning. So you plan to kill the professor, knowing that no trace of poison will be found in the water. Because Carrera is unheard of here in Japan. Yes, of course, I never intended to remain at the restaurant for as long as I did. I only needed to see the professor take one sip on this water, and it would all be over. I placed the steak I had ordered in front of him to make it appear as though he was dining alone, and I left immediately. However, before any of that happened, there was an unexpected visitor at the professor's table. That would be me, I suppose. Yes, you. Who else? Such a trifling matter, but the fact that you decided to come over to greet the professor meant that I had lost my chance to slip away unnoticed. In due course, the professor took a sip of the water and was paralyzed. I made sure he was sitting in the chair, such as so he won't fall. There was no going back at that point, so I concocted a plan on the spur of the moment. A plan to pin Dr. Wilson's murder on this innocent man. I happen to know that the professor always carries a gun. I decided to use that fact to my advantage. I had the bottle of Carrera in my handbag, and my own pistol concealed under my skirt. Okay, so he was right. Under your skirt. So I was right. There was 2 guns. Yes! And then I finished my coffee and I got up to leave. That's when I noticed that the professor's gun, which you had presumably placed on the floor, place where you were sure that I would notice it. And everything went according to plan. You noticed the gun and I attended. And then, just as you bent down to pick it up, bang! That's when you shot the professor with your own gun. Even though, at this point, he was already dead. Naturally, the gunshot caused a commotion, at which point the waiter appeared. Obviously, I assumed Naruhodo was the culprit and apprehended him. I took him to the pantry that adjoins the kitchen and locked him inside. That's when I took the opportunity to turn the professor in his chair around. Because, of course, you need to make it look like the defendant had shot Dr. Wilson from when he picked up the gun. So, there you have it. That is the entirety of my misdemeanor. Your Excellency? Yes? I wonder. Might I speak with you in private later? I shall call on you. Thank you. Good day then, everyone. I hope you can forgive me. Naruhodo-san? It would seem this trial has finally run its course. I presume that the prosecution is in agreement. This can't be. I don't lose. Not to the likes of this rookie student. You better start getting used to the tough opposition. Koyanuska Naruhodo, excuse me. What? Yes. This insult to the Aochi family name will never be forgotten. You become conceited with age, Counsel, but the old have to stand aside and make way for the new. It's the way of the world. May you never forget that. What the fuck? A thousand millennia may pass, and still the Aochi clan would never measure up to the Naruhodo clan. You know what? He's not wrong. This trial in the Supreme Court of Japan will, I believe, go down in history as the start of a new chapter in our country's judicial system. Despite being summoned as the accused, you, Ryunosuke Naruhodo, presented an excellent case. I thank you, Your Excellency. The use of evidence and deduction of unraveled truth is a modern methodology. After all, it has only been a short decade since our country opened its door to the wider world. But the Western ideas of science are rapidly gaining acceptance here. I feel sure that science will soon bring new methods of investigation and new procedures of justice. A new future of law awaits, but what it will look like, I cannot begin to imagine. That is for the young to pursue. Kazuma Asaji. Yes. After this trial, you are set to embark on a journey to discovery, to the illustrious British Empire. Learn all you can. Absorb everything in the wider world that you are able to. And don't forget to fulfill the mission imposed upon you. I understand, Your Excellency. What was that about? Why do you look so grave all of a sudden? Oh, never mind. As for you, Ryunosuke Naruhodo. Oh, yes? In you, I sense, how can I put it, unusual potential. I very much look forward to seeing you how you carry on onwards. Thank you, Your Excellency. It is time to deliver the final verdict. I hereby find the defendant, Ryunosuke Naruhodo, not guilty. Yay. This court is now adjourned. I can't believe it. I can't believe what's happened. I made it. I defended myself and made it through the horrendous trial. Ryunosuke, you finally pulled it off. Congratulations. Well, I couldn't have done it without you. Thank you, Kazuma. It was a pleasure to watch you at work. So, you owe me an extra large sukiyaki from the place on Yume University Street. Don't forget. Good afternoon. Oh, all your hard work certainly paid off. Congratulations to the both of you for proving Naruhodo's son's innocent. Ah, our trusty judicial assistant. You worked hard on that results too, you know. Oh no, I didn't do anything. Thank you so much. If we hadn't had that research paper, I don't know how things would have turned out. Your kind words should really be for my father. I was simply just doing it as he asked. I was his idea for me to go to the university and investigate. Your father? Ha, yes, of course. I'm skipping the flashback. Speaking of Mikotoba. Ah, there you are. I believe congratulations are in order. Naruhodo, you did an excellent job. Thank you, Professor. Oh no. It is I who should be thanking you after all. Your efforts exposed the true criminal that took the life of my good friend. Good friend? Oh yes, you mentioned that before. It was you who actually invited Dr. Wilson to the University, wasn't it? Yes, that's right. Professor Mikotoba studied overseas himself. He went to study forensic medicine in Great Britain. Presumably, that's when you met Dr. Wilson. Exactly. In those days, we worked together in the same hospital. Oh, you worked together? I never heard you mention that before. Well, it was a long time ago now. Besides, it's your turn, Asaji. Great Britain is a magnificent country. It leads the world in science, medicine, engineering, culture, and of course, in law. Watch and learn, my boy. See what's happening in the world's largest melting pot. I will. I learn all I can. I swear on this, the spirit of the Asaji clan. You're not taking that sword to Great Britain, are you? Of course I am. Oh, okay, he said it. I didn't know he was going to say it, but yeah. A Japanese man's katana is his soul. This blade shows me where I need to go. And cuts down anything that's in my way. Yes, I'm definitely seeing how sharp it is already with my own eyes. That reminds me, what happened to that woman? To Brett, I mean. After all, she's guilty of murder. Ah, yes, her. It's not easy to tell you this, but what do you mean? Surely she's going to face her trial herself now. She's the true culprit, after all. She will be leaving Japan in the very near future for Shanghai. What? Shanghai? Giselle Brett will not appear in court again in this country. I'm certain of that. What? But why not? It's a matter of consular jurisdiction. It was a hard-fought battle in the courtyard today. Very impressive to watch. I must but what's this jurisdiction? We cannot try this particular foreigner for her crimes here in Japan. We can't try her? But then who? Who's gonna bring her to justice? A British consular court will hear her case. Somewhere far away, where our voices can't be heard. But why a consular court? Professor, I simply don't understand. I thought consular courts were a thing of the past now that we signed the friendship treaty. Yes, in normal circumstances, you're right. Then, so long as this is not a serious incident of a highly political nature to our respective governments, they can't invoke a consular court like that. Oh, can't they? Yes, she's a student, but it doesn't justify our governments making secret agreements about her fate, does it? Something strange is going on. So Miss Brett can't be held accountable for her actions here in Japan. I'm afraid that's for the young students. Today's trial was nothing more than a game all along. There was never any danger of comeuppance of her. I don't believe it. The British government's Foreign Affairs Ministry has demanded that we hand over the custody of Miss Brett. They're obviously taking this case of a foreign student committing murder very seriously. But it's all gonna change from now on. We can make it change. This is a time of great turmoil. This new era heralded by the start of the 20th century. One day, I have no doubt, that woman will receive the judgment she deserves. Yes, change is coming, and we're the ones driving it. Well, I think that's enough seriousness for now. This evening calls for a celebration. But Professor, you're right. This is no time for gloomy faces. We should be celebrating Ryunosuke's not guilty verdict. Let's start having some fun. In that case, might I suggest Le Carnival? As the head waiter, I should be delighted to provide you with apple food and drinks. You're a detective, Hasanaga, aren't you? Let's not worry about details for now. To the La Carnival, will you accompany us, Professor? Of course, La Carnival's food is second to none. I shall go and attend to the paperwork for Naruhodo-san's release. Ah, yes, thank you. So Giselle Brett won't be tried here. I suppose that means I'll never know. I'll never find out why she killed Dr. Wilson. Kazuma? Yes, Ryunosuke. I just wanted to say thanks again, that's all. You really saved my skin today. I didn't do a thing. You were the lawyer in there, weren't you? The defense was all your own work. Your skills made the difference though. One day, I bet you'll be the best lawyer in the world. I'm not so sure about that. To be honest, something kept occurring to me over and over through that trial. I couldn't help thinking that maybe you're the one destined to be a great lawyer, not me. What? Come on, be serious. If I help you today, it was only right at the very start of the trial. But you have a natural talent for it, for being the defense lawyer, I mean. Oh no, not me. All that tense verbal combat? I never want to go through that ever again. I did what you told me to do, that's all, because I knew I could trust you. That's the point. Sorry? What do you mean, that's the point? Listen, Ryunosuke. Do you know what the most crucial weapon that any lawyer needs in order to win? Knowledge of the law? No. The ability to believe. To believe? To believe what? A defense lawyer has to fight for his clients. He has to believe in them at all times. Like you believed in me when I said I didn't do it. I'm human, just like you. I don't have some superpower ability to know the truth. But you have to make a choice about what to believe in, and stick to what you're defending someone. Sometimes in the courtroom, you could really be backed into a corner. But being able to remain faithful to what you choose to believe in is even then. Well, that's something that anyone could do. It takes a special kind of person. Believing in your client. Just look at today's trial. I'm a student lawyer with precious little real experience. But you never stop believing in me. Well, you face seamlessly hopeless situations time and again, but you never stop looking for the truth. And in the end, you found it. Through your own efforts, and because you never stop believing in me. Thanks, Kazuma. There's something I want to ask you, actually, Ryunosuke. Well, it's a favor, really. The redhead makes him look cool? Yeah. It sounds serious. What is? You're still here, are you? Oh, Inspector Hasanaga. I arranged some rickshaws for us. Let's go. Thank you. We'll be right there. Let's pick up this conversation again later. We should be celebrating right now. Your first court victory. And your study tour to Great Britain, don't forget. Ah, yes, that too. So my very first trial came to an end. Kazuma. Professor Mikotoba. Susada-san, who acted as my assistant. Inspector Hasanaga, who didn't really play much of a part, but still. It was because of the help and support of all these people that I managed to get through that trial. But more importantly, Kazuma hadn't yet managed to ask his favor of me. Little did I realize, just how much it would change my life. The end. Oh, that was pretty good. That was a good trial. It was just long as fuck, but that was a pretty good trial, especially for the first trial. Defense debut. You want to save? Yes, I will. I unlocked a new adventure. Yeah, that first trial was really long. Even for like to just start, that was really long. Start playing. I just want to see that intro. I'm probably gonna wrap up right here, but I want to look at the intros.
In a corner of that small, dark room, Sholmes and I waited with bated breath. In time, there came from the ventilator a hiss and a soft, almost growl-like sound. Suddenly, Sholmes sprang into action, lashing furiously with his cane at a point in the darkness. "You see it, Wilson?" he yelled, his tense voice reverberating through the air. I raised my dark lantern's shutter, and the room slowly came into view. Sholmes was staring intently at one particular corner when he started whispering to me. The victim's most perplexing final words. The speckled band. I believe this is the terrible coil to which you referred, Wilson. In front of us was an enormous adder, its fangs bared as it threatened to strike. It truly was the most terrible speckled band I had ever seen.
So then, let us unravel this mystery and discover what events led to this curious murder. Pray, do excuse me. The cabin door was bolted from the inside when the man was killed. No marks to suggest the bolt was tampered with in any way. So, this would appear to be a locked room mystery. In his final moments, the victim scrawled a message on the floor. Almost certainly with the ink from this upset bottle. A Russian word. So the victim was a Russian man then. And the letters are well formed, suggesting he was compos mentis at the time. This is a most extraordinary script. And evidently not penned by the same hand as this message. In fact, I deduce it was written by someone of a different nationality. This paper seal was placed just prior to the incident, by the victim himself, I would venture. Well, what have we here?
Who are you, and what do you think you're doing here?
No one must touch before maritime police come. We must wait.
Shh. That won't be necessary. You see, in less than 5 seconds from now, I will reveal the killer to you.
What?
Don't be absurd. This is murder. I need cabin locked from inside.
Ah yes, the locked room. But that mystery is paper thin.
You don't mean the culprit is in there?
Who are you, and where have you come from?
I'm a great British consultant detective, the only one in the world. Sherlock Sholmes. I presume you must have heard of me.
Alright. I'm not going to continue right here. I'm going to stop right here. I'm actually going to go take a break. But this was quite fun. I'm glad I was able to finish the first story. I'll continue. I got work tomorrow. Actually, I got work all the way until Thursday. So the next time I'll stream will probably be on Friday and Saturday. I'll definitely continue on Saturday, but yeah, this is the Great Ace. I keep saying Grace. This is the Great Ace Attorney. Yeah, we're gonna play some more. We're gonna play some more for sure. I think. Let me see who's streaming. I think I saw Miso is streaming. Yeah, she's streaming. I'll go later. But yeah, this was fun. So yeah, I'll be back on Friday for sure. Alright guys, I'll catch you guys next time.